Hello everyone, welcome to Code Uplifter. In JavaScript, if you have faced any interview, maybe you are an experienced person or you just passed out from an institute and you're facing the interview, it's a common question you face every time that explain the difference between let, const and var. And also some question about either on hoisting or the scope lexical scoping. Now we would actually go deep dive into to find the difference between let, const and var. Before we go to find the difference between let, const and var and compare, would I would like to go for a deep dive analysis on what is actually hoisting and what is functional scoping. Now we'll go for finding the difference between scoping first. So in JavaScript, there are two types of scope. Either it is function scoped or it is block scoped. Now block means either you declare a if condition, when you declare a if condition, you declare all the statements inside the if inside a block within the curly braces. Now, or else you can go for a loop. So all these are block level elements. Now function, if you declare a function within that function thing, it is function scoped. Now going back to VS Code, so this is a sample program that we have developed to explain the difference between function scoping and block scoping. Now you see we have declared a variable where a equals 10, let b equals 20 here. So all these things, all the line number 2 to line number 12, everything comes under function scope. Now the a equals 10 and b equals 20 here. Now inside this, if true, this is inside a block. Now when I'm writing where a equals 30, that means the variable declared in the line number 2 is getting modified here. But when I write let b equals 40, the variable in line number 3 is not modified. It is completely a new variable. So the variable when you declare with let and const and you declare inside a block, then it is completely a new variable you are declaring and initializing. But var, because it follows the function scope, so this validity of a will remain inside the entire function. So if you redeclare even var equals 30, it will modify the existing value. Now if you do here console log a, it will give you value 30 because it has been modified here. But if you do console log b, it will still give 20 because this b equals 40 it is a completely new variable that is nothing to do about this b. This b will be giving you the output of 20 because this is line number it has been initialized in line number 3. This is all about function scoping and block scoping. Now again going back to the presentation, we'll also right now try to understand the concept of hoisting. Hoisting in JavaScript is a very common concept and it is being asked always in the interview that what is hoisting. Hoisting means going to the top. That means if you declare a variable using var or let or const, the declaration part, let's say var x equals to 10. Now that var x or let x, that declaration part is hoisted to the top. But there is one difference in the hoisting of var or let or const. Let's go to VS Code and understand the difference. Now if you see Here I am declaring a variable in line number 2 var a equals to 10. But in line number 1, if I will write console log a, it will give me undefined. But see the difference, it is giving me undefined, not giving me any error. Because the var a, only this var a declaration is already hoisted to the top of the file. So when you try to access it, it is not giving any error, but it is hoisted, the declaration is hoisted. Then your question is, okay, then how it is undefined? So the implicit meaning is when you declare a var that it is hoisted and also initialized with the value undefined. But now you see line number 6 and 7, console log b and line let b equals 10. It will straight out give you a reference error. Excuse me. Why it will give you like a reference error? You could ask that, okay, let also is hoisted, but why it is giving error then? Let is also hoisted, the declaration part is hoisted, but the only difference is that the initialization of the value to undefined, that is not there. So when you try to access B, it will give you error. So unless until it has been initialized, you cannot access it, and it is called temporal dead zone pattern in JavaScript. Many times you face questions like what is temporal dead zone pattern? So this is the answer. You cannot access let and const before it is initialized. If you try, you will get reference error. So this is actual temporal dead zone pattern. Now again coming back to the presentation. So var. Now, as we have already discussed, var is function scoped. And throughout the function, the var variable is accessible. It is hoisted to the top. That means earlier right now, whatever the example we have seen, the declaration part is hoisted to the top, but initialized with undefined. But this is not the case in let and const. Let and const, it is hoisted, but it is not initialized with undefined. Redeclaration is allowed. You can, in that example, in the VS Code, we have seen that we are redeclaring that variable inside if condition. If I would just like to show here quickly. So you can see here, in line number 2 we have written var equals to 10, and line number 6 we are rewriting that var equals 30. So redeclaration is allowed for var, whereas in line number 3 we have written let b equals 20, and line number 7 when you write let b equals 40 inside, and this is completely inside another block itself, so it is creating a new variable altogether. Now coming back to presentation. So redeclaration is allowed for multiple times. Now coming to the to discuss about let. So as we have discussed right now, let is block scoped. Okay, so whatever the variables we are declaring inside a block, it is not carry forwarded outside the block. It can be accessed only inside that block. Hoisting. In hoisting, let is also hoisted, the declaration is hoisted, but not initialized with undefined. So this results an error if you try to access, and this pattern is called temporal dead zone pattern. Try to remember the name. Somewhat it is being sometimes it is being asked actually in the interview. You should be aware of this term. And redeclaration is not allowed. Let's say in line number 2 you are writing let b equals 10 and again let b equals to 20, then it will give you error because there a variable with same name exists. That kind of error you will get. Const is also block scoped as let is. Okay, So it can be accessed inside the block only. Hoisting the same as let, it is hoisted but not initialized. It follows the temporal dead zone pattern. And one difference is that let you can declare let b. So implicit meaning is b is undefined. But if you write const a, then it would definitely give you error because const values should have something. So while you are declaring, so initialization is a must for const. And const cannot be changed. For example, in line number 1 we are writing const x equals to 10, and line number 11 you are writing const x equals to 11. That will straight out give you error. But there is one difference here. If you are declaring a object or a array using const, that array and that object can be modified though it is a const. Okay, would separately once in some another video you can discuss more on this topic. So you can see just like const version, this is an object, this is just an object I am declaring here. Right now I can write person.age equals to 26, age equal to 25, I am modifying the object. Now this is allowed. So if we can do a comparison, you can maybe keep a screenshot and save it in your device for future use. So scope is, we know that var is function scoped, let is block scoped, and const is also block scoped. Hoisting all follows hoisting, but it is initialized with undefined. It is not initialized. Redeclaration, it is allowed. It is not allowed for let and const. Reassignment, var is allowed. Let is reassignment is allowed, because let you can definitely change the value, but const reassignment is not allowed. So this is all about the difference between let, const and var, and the concept of lexical scoping and hoisting. Thank you.